Um, well, if I'm to say something about the topic which says, is learning always a pleasure, or is there such a thing as too much learning? Uh, I want to believe learning can be a pleasurable experience, and but it is not always the case though. There are times when too much of learning can lead to negative effects, and I've got 2 points down: the positive side, which I believe from my own perspective, and I've got to negative at the same time. The first positive one is personal growth. When you try to learn things by yourself, like for example, we go on YouTube. Apart from being a support worker, I'm into photography too. I'm into video editing, which I learn all by myself, and which is adding to my way of life in the church. I made contributions by helping them to do the video editing every Sunday services. And apart from that, I'm into the choir as well. I learned piano by myself through the YouTube. So I'm in the choir, I play piano, and I play bass guitar too, and drums. So with all this, I'm always happy and busy. There is no time for me to be depressed and just sit down and be thinking I'm bored. No, I'm not. If I'm not here online doing things, I'll be on the piano playing or trying to compose a song. So I want to believe the positive aspect of it is for personal growth. And the second aspect of it, the second one, is improve cognitive functions. Like for example, I'll use my son as an example. 2 days ago, I was in a school, and what the teacher was telling me, I was so surprised. But I allowed him to. He used to YouTube so much too. When he's on his tab, doing research, and I was so surprised when the teacher was telling me he used to do this. He's good in this. As a matter of fact, last year he got the best science student overall and history as well. And I was wondering, I never taught him this, but because of what he was putting himself to do, help him a lot to gain more knowledge about life. So I want to believe uh, that the two positive effects is that you get personal growth and it helps a lot. Like, for example, English and maths. It's not that when you learn maths, then you get to work and you'll be doing calculation, but it helps you to widen your knowledge for other things to come in. That is my belief. And the negative side effect of it, because of all that, so that they can have their time to say something about it, is I use the word burnout. When you learn too much, you are not given space, no break time, then you get exhausted, you get overwhelmed. So that would be the negative side effect of it. And the second one is uh, stress and anxiety. At times learning can be stressful, particularly when there are high stakes involved, such as an exam like we are doing now, or performance evaluations. The pressure to perform well can lead to anxiety and stress when it is too much, which can negatively impact an individual mental and physical health. So, in summary, I can say while learning can be a pleasurable experience, there are also negative effects that can arise from too much learning. It is important to find a balance between learning and self care to avoid burnout and stress. By so doing, individuals can reap the positive benefit of learning while minimizing the negative effect. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think that's good. I obviously think as well,
Yeah.
obviously, if children are learning in like, places like schools or, other education sectors, that can make learning fun for them as well. So obviously that can be something that's dependent on your age, but I think that learning if you are, you know, obviously like a young child. They can do it in the sense that's always fun, so obviously it makes learning pleasurable for the children, because obviously they get to learn and have the, you know, the experience of having good quality fun alongside it. But even as adults, you can always learn something new, and you know, you could be a bit surprised, you know, maybe like, oh, you didn't know that before, but now that you do, you didn't know it before, but now that you do, so you're happy that you've learned from it, and maybe there's benefits that you've, you know, received from learning that as well. So I think that's another aspect why learning's you know, a very positive thing for everybody of all ages.
But the thing I think with learning, I think that Ollie said, you do have to find a balance, because if you don't find a balance, you're getting too stressed out. Like, I'm doing this and my MVQ, and I work in a children's home. It's very, very full on. So I work 2 on 4 off, so I have to try and balance everything out. But I think too much learning can be fun, and it should be fun, but it's not always fun. But as long as you find the balance to make the time, well, it's always good to learn something new every day. I always try and learn new things every day, or I try and learn the kids new things every day at the home, because they're around social media a lot and they think they should be like this and they should be like that, and I'm like, no, you're your own person. If you want to do what you want to do, you do what you want to do. You don't do what society is telling you to do, or your friends. If you want to do that, if you want to learn that, you do it yourself. But I do think society is a biggest impact on people thinking they have to be in this stigma. You have to do this or you have to do that. No, you don't. Obviously, if you do for the like our job, you have to, because it's a requirement. But I don't know. I think if you find the balance, you can be all right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I do think with obviously what you said, Ashton, about society sometimes trying to mould it as what you should learn and what you shouldn't be learning. Everyone's their own unique individual. If somebody wants to go and learn, say, something like sign language, for an example, if they want to go and learn that, they're, you know, entitled to go and learn that if they want to, and obviously benefit them by giving them, like, you know, some knowledge and experience. So everyone's you know, everyone should have their own unique learning kind of style as well. You know, everyone learns differently. You can be a visual learner, you can be, you know, you can learn by doing something, watching, listening, all those different kinds of types. So I do think you have a good point there when mentioning society often tries to kind of maneuver how people should learn or mould how people should learn, when everyone's entitled to learn anything in their own way. So I do think that's a good point.
See, with my one, you know, if you're at school or college when you're young, the thought of learning after that can be boring, I think, because obviously if you learn so much in school and college, then being, oh, you've got to go to university now, you can get bored of the learning side of it. So having a break is always fun before you start something new, I think. Yeah, because you get bored otherwise. If you keep going from one thing to another, you get too bored of doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps it is something that you can balance in the middle. But if you go from, say, university isn't always kind of an option for people. I didn't go to university, and a lot of my friends didn't go. But you know, we still learn something new every day. You can go into a new job, you know, anything like that. You can learn, you know, or you know, even with apprenticeships, you get to work, but you get to learn at the same time. You never kind of stop learning. So I do think that's, you know, another reason there's why it's always like a continuing motion, really.
Yeah, but people.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but some people don't want to go to university now because it's like triple what it used to be when I was at school. It was $3,000 a year. It's now $9,000. Probably even more. No one wants to go to university because they're going to pay all that debt off.
Yeah.
You've got to pay that. Do you know what I mean? No people want to do it. So sometimes there is no incentive to go to university now because of the costs. So I don't know. But I'm like that. Sometimes I don't want to learn new things because I get very, very distracted. So
Yeah.
sometimes
I get very distracted easily.
yeah, yeah. You know, like if I don't know, I'm just terrible. I think I'm undiagnosed ADHD personally, but I don't know.
Well, I believe learning, our day-to-day activities is all about learning. We learn. It is not where you go to school or you go to the university before you learn. And you get what I'm saying? Even a small boy learns how to wear a shoe. But it has to be in his own, like my son, you can't force him to do things. He wants to learn in his own way.
Exactly.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So if only we all understand and discover how we want to learn things, it will be easier for us. Instead of, like she said, Ashton, that the world has put up a structure for us how to learn. But if only they can allow us to learn in our own way, at our own pace, then it will be easier for us. Then we wouldn't see it as learning too much. For example, my son, when he was growing up, the way my wife deals with him, he sees eating as a punishment. So because of that, he doesn't want to eat. Then when I discover, I try to make my wife understand. Let him know that it is good for him to eat, not a punishment. So we were able to overcome that when he understands that yes, eating is good. He needs a nutrient which comes from the food for him to grow. Then he began to eat now. And it is a gradual process. We can't rush him. So if only the world can understand that we all have our different way of learning, then learning will be more easier for us. Yeah, if we stop learning, then we become useless. So when we learn, as a matter of fact, when we learn every day, then we adapt to new things, new cultures, even the people we support. In order to work with them, we have to learn new things about them, and they develop new attitude, which we have to adapt to. So learning is very important, though it is a process, but it is important for us to learn every day. And the topic before me is, can accessing an online class be as enjoyable as attending a course in person? I decided to pick this because I've got some experience recently about studying online. For example, what we are doing now, we are online, we are doing exam, and a couple of times I've been with Diana teaching me about the English and maths. So today I'm going to talk about whether accessing an online class can be enjoyable, as I've said earlier, attending a course in person compared to attending a course in person. With the rise of online platform, this question has become increasingly and relevant, especially in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. I could remember we were unable to go out to do most of the things we do, apart from the fact that I'm a support worker. I'm always on night shift, so I go to work. But apart from that, going to church on Sundays, we couldn't do that because the church were not opened. Because I'm a Christian and I love to go to church. So what we did was to have online service, and we had pre-recording session of the praise and worship. Myself and some of the choir team, we rehearse online on WhatsApp, on Zoom, and some other platform we use, collect all the videos, and on Sundays we present it, and people will see it, dance, enjoy themselves, and we were able to relate because we couldn't even go out to meet people. We can't even hug, we can't touch. But with the help of the internet thing, we were able to communicate and relate online. And I will start by acknowledging that traditional classroom learning and online learning are two distinct learning experiences. as far as I'm concerned. In puzzle classes, that provides an opportunity for face-to-face interaction with instructors like Diana and peers, as well as an instructor learning environment. We relate with ourselves when we're in the class, we mingle in the process of learning in class. But online classes, on the other hand, offers greater flexibility in terms of time, location, as well as opportunity to review lectures and materials at one own pace. I could remember the type I'm always curious of what is going on in the world. I want to learn everything. That is my nature. So as I've said before, I said I'm into music, I'm into photography, I'm into videography. So all this I learned all by myself online. So apart from that, a friend called me in the US and said, are you interested in doing IT? I said, what is IT? I don't know. I've got no idea. Then he got me introduced to this AWS. And the people that were teaching us, the lecturers were, some of them were from US, some of them were from India. And we were about 37 in numbers in class. And I was the only one that had no history of IT. I've got no ideas. Then I decided to join the class, and there's what we call labs. After the tutoring, there's what we call labs. Everybody will do. Initially, it was like a magic to me, and I was complaining until I realized, wait a minute, you've got YouTube, you've got the internet, you can do your research. Then I started doing my research, and at the end of everything, believe me, when we sat for the exam, I was the second. I came second out of all of them, and people were surprised and said, but you had no idea at all. How did you manage? I said, well, I was making research online. And apart from that, I benefited from making friends with people that I never thought I would make friends with. People from US, people from Norway, people from Canada. We all met together in class virtually, and we were able to achieve one or two things online. And one of the significant benefits of online classes is the convenience factor. You know, like Diana always send me an email or a text message. When is it convenient for you? So that we can do the tutoring for the English and math functioning skill, which I will tell her, okay, I'll be available this time. But if it is classroom, there's a timetable. You just have to be in class. Either it is convenient for you or not. Nobody cares. But online stuff is so convenient. With online learning, students can attend classes from anywhere as long as they have an internet connections. This means that the student can avoid long commute, traffic, and other distractions that can affect their learning experience. Moreover, they can watch lectures. Like Diana always send me some stuff. You have to practice this. Your exam is coming. Are you getting what I'm saying? So learn complete assignment at time that suit their schedule, which it has helped me a lot. What we are doing now, if it were to be classroom, it will affect me a lot because I'm always on night. But before I come up with Diana, I will go to bed for like few minutes, relax. Then when I wake up, I'm refreshed. Then I can attend to whatever questions he wants me to attend to. Another benefit of online learning is the availability of various resources. You know, in traditional classroom settings, students are limited to the resources of that is provided by the instructor, whereas online classes offers a plethora of resources such as e-books, multimedia contents, and interactive learning tools. And additionally, online classes provides access to recorded lectures. Like Diana, when we started, she said, I'm going to start recording. So like some of the classes I've had, they put it online. You can still go back to the recordings and look at it and make adjustment of whatever issues you are having in your learning. So it allows students to review course materials whenever they need to. And there is this question that assessing an online class can be as enjoyable as attending a course in person, which I believe the answer is yes. In as much you can enjoy yourself in the class, you can as well enjoy yourself attending a class online. And it is even easier to make friends. If it is a classroom, I may not be able to speak with Sophie. I may not be able to approach Ashton, but online, I can see your face, I can talk to you, and you will respond to me. But whereas in class, you might be looking at me, what is wrong with this? You might count it as an assault. Are you get what I'm saying? So I believe online classroom is I wouldn't say it is better, but it is as enjoyable as the face-to-face classroom. Online classes often require students to participate in discussion as we did before. We had a chat, we had discussion of a topic, and providing a platform for peer-to-peer learning and collaboration. Online classes can accommodate a more extensive range of learning style, providing various resources such as multimedia content and interactive tools, which I've mentioned before. However, there are also some challenges associated with online learning. For instance, online classes require self-discipline and time management skills. Like, I've been given 8 minutes, so I have to make sure I do whatever I'm doing within that 8 minutes. So online learning can be isolating, though, with limited opportunities for face-to-face interaction with instructors and peers. And on these notes, I jotted some things down which I will elaborate a bit on it quickly because I think I'm running out of time. Students learn more than they do in traditional courses when it is online, because apart from what the tutor is giving you, you go ahead and make your own research as well online. So it helps a lot. IBM have found that participants learn 5 times more material in online learning courses using multimedia content than in traditional face-to-face courses. The second one is retention rates are higher with online learning. So we tend to learn more when it is online by watching videos. It helps us to retain what we are learning. And the third one says online learning requires less of a time investment. Many students are put off enrolling in face-to-face course due to the time investment it will require. This generally involves the time to get back and forth to classes plus the time spent waiting for tutors and other students. Like we were waiting for somebody before we started this exam. So, but online helps more. Now, because she wasn't able to log in, we just agreed that, okay, let's just move on. Then she will be scheduled for another exam. So that is online class for you. So the fourth one says more frequent assessment can reduce distractions. One of the great things about online courses is that assessment can become more of an ongoing process. This is good news for students as interpersonal multimedia content and learning material with regular short tests can improve student engagement. And the last one, learning is the greener option. E-learning, is the greener option. Even at work, there are some courses we are meant to do online. So if we were to go to, like, I prefer doing some of the things online than to go face-to-face to go and do the safety intervention. So just to round it up, in conclusion, while traditional classroom learning and online learning offers distinct learning experiences, online learning can be as enjoyable as attending a course in person. With the increased accessibility of online learning platforms and the flexibility they offer, students can learn at their own pace and collaborate with peers from different parts of the world. However, to maximize the benefit of online learning, students must develop, like I've said before, self-discipline and time management skills to succeed in the online learning environment. Thank you for your time.
So one question I've got for you then is, what is a learning skill you feel has helped you develop recently? What skill do you feel personally you've took on board and thought, oh, it's helped me learn? So what do you feel that is?
Yeah, like the legislations and the policy and procedures at work. We've got a lot of books. They are here, but to go there and read them at times it is cumbersome. But when I open my phone and go to the company's website, I can easily read them. And during the period of this NVQ, some of the legislations that I didn't even know they exist, I was able to discover them through the online platform. So I think I've answered your question.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
But with learning online and doing online courses and online classrooms, don't you think that can be a little bit isolating sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not interacting like physically with people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd find that a little bit difficult, just doing that and then not doing.
Yeah.
I like to be around people. Well, not around them all the time, but I can't be too isolated, or I feel like I'm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Spending too much time with myself. That's never a good thing.
Yeah. Anyway, the purpose of this topic is just to let you know that you can as well enjoy the classroom online,
Yeah.
even as you enjoy classroom on face-to-face basis. So
Yeah.
I think they both work hands in hand. So
Definitely.
My question is, doing online learning, do you feel that it's more enjoyable than do it in a class because you can do it in your own time?
exactly, at my own pace. Yeah, I can take my time to do stuff online, but in classroom they just give you time and you have to fit in into that time. You are not the timing is not flexible when it comes to face to face, if you're getting what I'm saying. But when you're online, yeah, you have more time to do stuff, and then you have other uh, areas to consult for informations.
Yeah.
Yeah.